Did we do it? Are we? We're not like it didn't shut down and then restart. So maybe we're good.
Are we in just one live chat, or do we have 3 or 4 going on? What is this? Only one?
1911
What's
Drew.
up, boys and
Yeah,
girls?
he's touching on something I want to talk about when we get to the 2A world. Hearing Protection Act. It's exciting. What's up, everyone? Viking Medics in the house. What's up?
What's going on?
Harry's here. Oh. As you could tell, Walsh is not here. Both Walsh and Joe had family things. Joe's traveling for graduation, and Walsh has got in-laws in town.
Yeah.
We miss them, sort of.
So you got the 2 handsome guys tonight. You're just going to have to deal with that.
Yeah. Shucks. AR Drew, what's going on, man? Welcome. So we do have the Thunderwheel going on tonight. Let's see if we can switch over to what I have set up for our first round of it.
Oh boy.
It's gonna be, I haven't shuffled it yet, but that's gonna be Jay Murph and Michael Farley for the first round of the Thunderwheel.
Oh, they're all stacked up. You see that?
I haven't shuffled it yet.
Yeah.
Just put it together. So I was telling Walsh, I don't have access to the bracket. So like to be able to say who won or who didn't. So it's not going to update as quickly as we updated it last week. I don't think Walsh is going to be here next week either, if I remember correctly. So we'll be doing the bracket, and then I'll be sending him the results. He'll update the bracket. So we're going to go down to the, what did I call it today? Furious Four.
Yeah. So as usual, Walsh, we'll just tell Walsh who won, and then he'll have to figure out what they win, or well, we'll try to give his pants away again and see if that works out. But
Harry's asking if he had a chance to win. I don't remember. If you are a YouTube member or a Patreon, you were entered initially. You may not have been here, but we put every YouTube member and Patreon into the Thunderwheel, and we broke it down into a bracket of 16. Mm-hmm. So if you go onto the TLD website, thinlinedefensecode.com /giveaway, you'll see the bracket, the Thunderwheel bracket.
Yeah, Harry's an OG member, so he was definitely in that first go around, like to get to the 16.
Yeah. So you just didn't get to the 16. Right now in the what did I call the last week? Something 8. We have Michael Farley and Jay Murph, and then Lance Zhang is going to be against himself. L. Pipkins and Jay Garrard, and then Jacob Needham and Mission 7 Tactical.
Yeah. So, and if you guys like this thing, we'll keep on doing it, but we're just trying something new, something exciting.
Yeah. Michael Farley, no, you did not miss your wheel.
Not yet.
You might. You're gonna miss it if you lose.
Yeah. You're gonna be sad.
A.R. Drew says, I love watching Thunderwheel and imagine the tears of those who lose.
Yes. That's the best part. Like, you have all these opportunities to win, but more opportunities to lose. So that's the best part.
That is the best part. Tactical Java's in the house. I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know if he wants me sharing it. I'm going to do it anyways. It's not a TLD live chat without a little doxing. Java's got a gaming channel now.
What?
Yeah. So he's been posting some stuff on, I think it was Star Citizen. There was a short that I was watching recently.
Ooh.
And
what's the name?
Java Gaming. Java, I got to get you access to our fellow YouTubers section on Discord. You can start posting your videos there too. Yeah, Harry's upset. Only 16 entries. Yeah, so we whittled it down to, we basically put everyone onto a wheel and we kept shuffling until we got 16 names. 16 from all of our members. So, and the giveaway is like a bunch of DFCO stuff, like grips and who knows what else Walsh has. And then he's got a pile of stuff. The winner's going to get to choose from those things.
Jawa Gaming.
Yeah, Jawa Gaming. AR Drew says, anyone buy any stupid guns this week? No such thing.
There's no such thing.
Well, if Joe was here, Joe would probably find one. I'm missing something here because Sturgis is in the house. Sorry for the absence last week. Got diagnosed with some colorectal cancer last week. Don't cry for me.
No
Well, so
way.
do you then.
We,
Uh,
do,
my
do we get it fast enough, or what's the deal?
Yeah, he says it's gonna suck though. Gonna kick its arse. It's gonna suck though. Well, we'll be thinking about you and praying for you, bud. We'll check in regularly. We won't feel sad. We'll cheer you on by teasing you. Yesterday we were getting ready for dinner, and we usually say a family prayer before dinner. And usually I pick whoever it's going to be. And so my wife, like the kids are rowdy. She's anxious to start eating. And so instead of saying like, will you pick on someone to pray? She just said, will you pick on someone? And so I looked at my 7-year-old. I was like, you have giant eyes. And she just kind of looks at me, and my wife is sitting there like waiting. I was like, is that good enough? And she's like on the verge of tears. I didn't know it was that bad of a day. She's like, not pick on, like, just choose someone to say a prayer so I can eat my dinner. Harry says, yeah, Paul, kick it right square in the nuts. There was this article I was actually reading a few weeks ago that talked about this doctor. I might have shared this before, but this doctor had an oncologist was saying like he could tell if someone's going to beat cancer 90% of the time based on their reaction to receiving the diagnosis. If they receive the diagnosis that they have cancer and they start the woe is me crying, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? He's like, pretty good chance they're not going to make it. But if the response is, how can we beat this? What can I start doing? He's like, there's a 90% chance that they were going to recover from it. Now, granted, there's some cancers that are just beyond hope. But if you catch it early enough and you have a good attitude about it, knowing that it's going to suck, but knowing that you're going to pull through, you can work some miracles, man.
Yeah, but for sure, we'll be thinking about you, Sturgis, and let us know if there's anything we could do to help. Or
he says, you better not feel sad. Maurice, hello everyone, you guys rock. Wizard, where's Joe? Joe's out of town. He's got a friend who's graduating from college, I believe.
Is that what it was?
He should be here next week. What's that?
Is that what it was? College?
I thought so. I don't know. I think he just had a friend graduating, and I assumed he doesn't know anyone that's young enough to be graduating high school.
I was gonna say, if he went to a friend's college graduation, he didn't come to mine. I didn't have one during COVID, but he still could have came and hung out.
Yeah. Croak says, stage 4 pancreatic, brain, or DEI are tough cancers to beat.
Yeah, either way, it's never fun.
No. I have an uncle that's, I think what do they call it when he's got a cancer that's like never going to, like it's definitely going to shorten his life. Like he's going to pass away anytime soon, but it's in remission, I think. Where it's like, it's not causing havoc in his body right now.
Yeah.
And man, anytime my 7-year-old or my 5-year-old say the family prayer, they're always including him in their prayers. And he's been really upset about it. Like he heard it one time and he was like, you got to have them stop doing it because he's worried Like here they are, these little girls that are, trying to show faith as they know it by saying prayer for something that isn't, like, he's kind of determined, like, it's not gonna, I'm gonna die soon, and I'm gonna die because of cancer. Like, I might live a couple more years, but he's worried that it's gonna really hurt their, I don't know, their testimony or something, their spiritual growth.
Yeah, but you also want to pray for it, for him to be
Yeah.
without pain. Yeah, like yeah, he's going to be going through it, but you want it to be as painless as possible, and also hope that your uncle is prepared and
Yeah.
knows Christ too. So
Next, Tom says, DI is terminal. There's no hope for you.
yeah,
Boy, howdy. I got a new job. I start June 1st. And as I was going through the paperwork, it was like, this is I forgot how they worded it, but basically like a smell free working environment. Like, so we would appreciate if you don't wear aftershave, cologne,
what?
fragrant lotions. And it's really bizarre because I'm the job is basically like, it's a hybrid job. It's basically remote.
Yeah,
So, but I had to sign this thing saying like, if when I come in the office, I won't wear cologne.
I don't like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I
Like if
know.
you don't like the way I smell, then go away. Yes, but
So,
I will say there's an extreme of that because so I work in a 3-story building, and we used to have this office on our third. We're on the third floor. We used to have another office on that floor that had a gentleman, and he had a lot of cologne on it, and it smelled nice, but you could smell if he was in the office or if he had went from one side of the hallway to the other because it would leave like a trail, like Pepe Le Pew, right? Well, they moved, and I'm like, man, I wonder where they went. Well, the other day I was walking down the stairs to go outside the building, and I could smell the cologne. I was like, oh, he's on this floor. It's strong.
yeah. Harry says, remote gigolo? How? No,
Hey,
not that
you
job.
can do anything remote now.
Yeah. Hey, Drew, do you still live in a commie state for the new job? Yes, I
Yep,
do. Unfortunately.
unfortunately.
Um, oh, I missed this comment from Croak. He said, just got a poop test in the mail from the VA. That makes like the fourth one. Still haven't done it.
Do you have to mail it back?
How do you do that? How do you
I would
poop in a cup?
I would not want to be the technician for that. Like the first day, they're like, "Hey, Cody, I need you to do this." I'm like, I quit, dog. I'm not. Mm-mm. I'll do blood. I'll do other stuff. I'm not doing poop.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Like blood definitely doesn't get me. Like if something happens, if one of my kids were to chop off their hand and blood was everywhere, I'd be all over like stopping it, cleaning up. I could do that. Vomit? Nope.
It is weird. I think I've talked about this before. If it's my kids, it's different for some reason.
Oh, really?
Like I used to be really icked out by boogers and other people's
Yeah.
vomit and stuff like that. But like my kids, for whatever reason, I'm like, it's whatever.
Harry Harry says the funnest part of stool samples is trying to get it in the cup neatly.
It's not like soft serve at Dairy Queen. Like
Yeah. How-
what's that movie with it was I think it was Out Cold.
yeah, out cold where they do sample like
They were
samples for
doing
a
a
drug test,
urinalysis.
and he comes
Yeah.
back with a cup and like the poop is hanging out of it.
Oh my, that was the funniest part. I
Uh,
lost it.
my favorite part of that movie is Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
have He passes out and they put him in the driver's seat of the Camaro and then they spin it around when he's passed out drunk, spin it around on the ice and they all get in it and then they start spinning it and then they count and they start screaming and he wakes up. He's trying to like
Yeah. Counter steer. Yeah.
he kept going. I got it. I got it. What a great movie.
every time like somebody gets popped for urinalysis, we talk about that movie. That's the most epic urinalysis scene I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's like CPR. Any CPR day, it's The Office.
Yep. Yeah, when
Yeah,
he's wearing the face.
the mask. Yeah.
I just did that class, and the lady, she pulled the face off because like the little tube to the lungs was pulled off, so
Oh
she was
yeah.
pulling the face off, and somebody's like, "I didn't know the face could come off," and I was like, "Dude, you don't watch The Office?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "No," and I showed them that scene, and they were crying, laughing.
The right after that, like after he cuts off the face, I love that they're at corporate, and Michael's like, "Well, now Dwight knows not to do that to a real person."
Oh,
Uh, all right. Sorry, we're way off. Well, you guys love this. We're way off track.
yeah.
Let's. I'm gonna spin this first wheel now
Oh
because
boy,
it's gonna take me a little bit to prep the second wheel.
you gonna write down who wins,
Yeah.
or do I need to do that?
No, I'll do it. All right. So is that enough shuffling? So this is J Murph. Dude, that's like 3 J Murphs in a row. Do some more shuffling. Yeah. Look at that. 4 Michael Farleys in a row. I think this is just how it's going to be, guys. All right.
Well, if it gets to
Ready?
your quadrant, you'll win.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Can you hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 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 I said I was going to write it down. I don't even have a pen ready. Here we go. Who's it going to be? Michael Farley's got his fingers crossed. Sturgis saying, go winner. I'm surprised I didn't get a text from Joe that said something like, blue.
Yeah. I wonder if he's listening.
If he is, we miss you, Joe. Ooh, here we go. Oh, dude,
Oh,
it's going
there's
to
a
be Michael
stack of
Farley.
Michael
Oh, I
Farleys.
don't know, man.
Oh,
That might be J Murph.
yeah. He's gonna go right through that red.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Michael Farley. No
J
bueno.
Murph. That's so funny how it's stacked up like that.
Yeah, I figured it would be like, I guess I can manually do it for every other one. Maurice Barlow. The wheel of disappointment strikes again, Wizard.
Yeah, you know, if it was normal, it wouldn't be as fun.
So Brownie
Ooh,
says, just for the fun of it, add in a blank. I can do that.
I
See
like
what it
that
looks like.
idea actually. Then what happens if it hits a blank?
So, and then shuffle it. This is just for fun. We're not.
Oh, if
If Michael Farley
Michael
wins,
Farley wins now, he's gonna be.
Sturgis says, the wheel has cancer. And ARG says, Farley, we want to taste your tears.
Now it's gonna land on you, Farley.
They're still kind of bunched up. There's 4 Michael Farleys in a row.
Yeah, I wonder what the heck is going on with that.
Like, oh, dude, it might be too
Oh
fast
yeah,
to get.
it's gonna get that blue Farley.
Ooh, yeah. Well, I'm still holding on to J Murph as the winner. Look at that, dude. You called that.
I wonder
Good
why
job.
it's all bunched up.
Woo! All right.
I really
Well,
love that Joe
Michael Farley
just
says the
found
wheel
out.
has spoken.
Yeah.
I don't even think J Murph's here tonight. All right. I'm going to start prepping. I don't think it's going to be that difficult. So, do you think I should do manually make it so every other person is? That's not what Walsh did before, was it?
I don't think so. I don't know how he did it.
we'll just go my way.
Yeah, if I was that lucky with everything, Croak says life teaches you how to predict the wheel of disappointment. Yep.
Did you guys
I mean,
watch Walsh's video this past week?
which one was that?
It was the I almost said the OpsCore video, but was it the OpsCore video? No, it was the Bul Ultralight. The Bul Ultralight
Oh
Pro.
no, no, I didn't watch that one.
So I'm curious what you guys think with the Pro, the smaller, the Ultralight Pro. So the Ultralight is the smallest gun that Bul Armory makes, and it having a built-in compensator.
I mean, I think that's the built-in compensator thing. That's like everybody's doing that right now, honestly.
Yeah. I just don't know if it does it matter. With a pistol that small, like it's still going to be snappy, isn't it?
I thought Walsh and I were talking about because he has. I'm about to sneeze. Sorry. Sorry. He had. I think he had the comp 365, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was the 320. But we were talking about going out and seeing how much of a difference it makes.
He has a comp 365. It's the Macro X, I think, has the little comp on
The
it.
X Macro.
Yeah. Croak says, not a fan of ports on a carry gun. Comps I can live with. Well, would you consider the Ultralight Pro? Are those ports or is that a comp? Is that a built-in comp? I was calling it a compensator.
So the ports are in the barrel. The comp is in the slide, right?
Oh, this is interesting. Croak says, I bought the regular Ultralight, have owned a metal frame X Macro for a couple years, sold the Ultralight to a friend. Okay.
Oh.
So Croak says it's ports. It has 6 ports on it. Yeah, I don't know if I'd want that for a carry gun.
No. I think that would be dirty.
Yeah.
But
Davis Bruin says, stick with random. All right, I'll keep it random. Hey, Davis Bruin commenting from Rumble.
What's up?
I wonder
How's
if
Rumble?
people like are there like paid memberships on Rumble? I don't even know. We're so not in tune with life on Rumble.
I was really expecting for Rumble to take off at some point, especially with all the stuff that YouTube does. It can't do it yet.
I think the biggest frustration for us was the fact that you have to like sign the rights of your video away to Rumble. We tried it with one of my videos that I made. I talked to Walsh about it, like, hey, what if we just pick this one video and we select the option that's supposed to like make the channel the most amount of money. You give the rights over to Rumble, they promote it and they run with it. See, is that going to make any difference? And no difference on the views at all from what we were doing regularly. So I think eventually it'll get to the point where if it slowly builds up, I think we have like 500 followers over there now, then it might get to the point where it could replace Rumble or it could replace YouTube. But dude, I have no idea how many years that'll take.
Yeah, it'll take a while. It's going to take a while for any competitor to get there.
Oh, so Croak says the UL does not suck. Don't get me wrong. Just didn't do anything for me other than the grip size. So I have a short grip for my Bul EDC coming. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did they make it, Croak? Does Bul Armory make a short grip, or did you get it from like Mischief Machining or someone else?
So Garen is saying if you buy a 365, buy extra trigger bar springs. Why is that, Garen? So I just swapped out. Sorry, I just swapped out the trigger on my. I have a 365 380, and I just changed the trigger out for like a Glock style trigger, and I like it so much that I might put it on my 365X macro. That's my church security gun. So I think SIG just needs, like I've said this before, they just need to bite their lip and do that trigger, and then all the other stuff can go away about the drop trigger and all that other stuff. They just need to do it. I don't know why they're being so stubborn about it.
Croak is saying he's telling Garen that he has an Armory Craft spring kit in his.
In the Bull or his 365?
In his 365. Garen says he trusts the 226, 2022, 220, 229.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe, actually the group of us, we were talking about getting trying to find a 228. That's what we were issued early on in our careers in the military. And we still have, tons of holsters and magazines and stuff for that gun. The problem is the thing that replaced it is not the magazines and stuff we have wouldn't work in that gun.
Yeah, so right. So the M11 was a 13 round magazine. The 228 I think is a 15 round.
Well, they have the M11A1, which is the newest version of it, and that's the 15 rounder. And maybe I got someone, who was dead wrong at SIG, but I called SIG to ask him about it. I didn't ask him about holsters, if it would fit the holster. I'd asked if the magazines that I had would fit in the M11A1, and they were like, no, it's a different frame. Slightly different, but different.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still mad at our agency for getting rid of them. Because like I said, the Air Force paid 300, what was it? $339 for them brand new back in the 80s or whatever. And I was like, I will buy them for $300 right now.
Yeah.
And they're like, nope, we have to send them back. I'm like, oh.
That sucks.
So
I wonder if there's someone we could reach out to at headquarters that would be, like
I tried
some version of DRMO.
Yeah, they sent. I had the address where we sent them. It was some kind of like a depot, like an army depot.
Okay.
So yeah, probably what they're going to do is they're going to sell them to some other country. Stupid.
Ah, man. I know. Like, even if they went to that civilian marksmanship program, the same folks that sell like the 1911s and the M1s, I wonder if it'd be possible for them to get those.
Well, I haven't seen any come up for sale. You figure if they were selling them somewhere,
Yeah.
somebody would.
Croak says, just get a P229 and sell your M11 mags. You'll get optics, cut, pick rail, etc. I know. I think if I were to find an older version of the 229, the mags would work.
So I have a 229, but I got it in 40. So it does not fit in my magazine. It's actually a little wider. But I bought the caliper exchange. So actually what I did is I bought it with the 22 barrel and slide on it. And then I got a 40 cal caliber exchange, which was dumb. I should have got 9 mil, but that's what I have.
All right. P2000? Isn't that is that H&K?
Oh,
I'm not familiar with the P2000. Oh, is that? I think that is H&K. Is that? I'm going to look it up now. I think my buddy who worked for Border Patrol had one. Yeah, H&K. Hey, look at me. I'm somewhat smart.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. All right.
Hannah,
I have second one ready to go.
roll it. Oh, I wonder who's going to win this one. Somebody's going to be disappointed.
Croak says not to be confused with the P226 at home, the P2022.
Huh.
I think you guys are throwing numbers at me to confuse me.
I mean, you put a P in front of it, you know it's probably SIG.
So, dude, what if it falls on the blank?
It might.
No one wins.
Then no one wins, yeah.
Dude, it might do that. We have to spin it again. It's going to. Son of a gun. Oh, okay.
Oh,
just barely. All right.
Sturgis says put in a backup 2 spaces, like in sorry.
Yeah, that's good. I kind of like that we're. If I were to do that, like changing it up as we go, but I don't think it's fair.
Yeah. Maybe the next time we build a thunder wheel.
Go back 2 spaces.
Like in sorry when it's like when you roll, I think it or when you pop an 11, right? I'm trying to remember. If you pop an 11, you can replace your little thing, your little token with somebody else's. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, dude, it's been so long since I played that. I know what you're saying. I know there's rules like that. I just
There's
I
so
don't know.
many. There's so many rules. It's pretty easy.
Harry or Michael Farley says, for once it didn't tick over to the next one.
Yeah.
Garen says, I think SIG has been borrowing some of Caltech's Coke.
Oh, I won't.
What they come out with?
That far.
They come out with something weird?
Caltech does some pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, they do.
I didn't mind their little bullpup thing they had. I almost bought one.
The KDP?
Yeah. I just didn't like how it ejected, right? So it kind of pushed it down it pushed it down a chamber. I was like, man, that's going to get jammed up in
Oh, I
there.
remember that. Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah.
I have that sub 2000.
Yeah.
And that's the folding. It's a gun that like folds in half. I have their
Yep.
Gen 2 and I really, really like it. But I've also put like, it cost me $400 to buy it. And I probably put $400 into parts in it. And so is it worth it now? Like I probably put more than $400 in because everything's polymer. So like the feed ramp is polymer, the trigger's polymer, the trigger guard's polymer, and it's not good polymer.
Right.
And so there's a company out of Florida called M Carbo that makes a bunch of aluminum and steel parts that you can swap out. An entire new spring kit, all new. Basically, take all the polymer out and put all metal parts in.
Yeah.
So I did that. And then the other thing, the Gen 3, you don't need to do this, but with the Gen 2, I have an optic mount that springs out of the way so you can still fold the gun in half. But the Gen 3 Keltec, I think the entire handguard will rotate. So you can like mount an optic on the handguard. The handguard will rotate to get the optic out of the way, and then you can fold it in half.
Yeah, that's probably too much moving parts. So more stuff to break.
AR Drew says Smith FPC is a better option. I haven't shot one yet, and I probably want to be able to buy one in this state. I don't think I'd be able to. Yeah, so now I would agree. I would probably actually take like the Henry. Is it the Henry Homesteader? I think is the name of it. I like Henry. I don't own one, but I just like kind of what they're standing for, like made in America. They
Yeah.
seem tried and true. I love their catalogs and the special order stuff that you get from them. I'd probably go that route next time. Uh, Croak says that Nashville chick did most of her bad things with the sub 2000. Yeah,
Really?
that's the tranny.
Yep. I
Can I
thought
say
she
that?
had an AR.
Oh, I don't know. Croak says Homesteader has issues. I'm not buying one. Just saying, I would probably get it over the sub 2000.
Yeah, I have a big boy X.
Oh yeah, and what caliber?
I have
357.
45 long Colt.
Okay.
Yeah. That thing is smooth.
Really?
Oh
Lever
yeah.
action?
Yep.
Hmm. Yeah, I want one.
Yeah.
AR Drew, they have a new model in brushed bronze, real pretty.
The Homesteader?
Apparently. Croak says she had an AR sub 2000 and a handgun, did almost all the interior stuff with the Caltech.
Huh.
Did not know that. Did you see the video of the Las Vegas gym shooting and that cop? So
Yep.
I was joking around with the guys. I posted a picture from the cop's body cam right outside the gym, the cop that took out the shooter. And he's just standing like right behind a wall waiting for the dude to run by, and he pops him when he runs by. And my caption was like effing camper.
Yeah. So his gun jammed,
The cops?
and no, the
Oh, the
shooter,
shooter. Okay.
and that's why he was running out. So I'm curious. I don't know. I mean, you don't want a you don't want a Monday morning quarterback it, but if he
Yeah.
would have dropped his gun, would they have just detained him and arrested him, or the fact that he still had his gun in his hand? Why that cop
Probably.
dispatched him?
Now I haven't followed up. I don't know anything about this shooting. Did he kill anyone?
Yeah, I think he killed 2 people in there, if
Okay.
I'm not mistaken.
So if the cop's outside, I don't know if the cop heard the gunfire, but then like hears gunfire and sees a dude running out with an AR.
Yeah.
AR Drew says, glad he didn't
Yeah,
drop his
I
gun.
agree. I agree.
Uh, yeah, Zach's right. LVPD does not funk around.
As they should not, as they
Well,
should
there
not
was
or
there
should.
were a couple, I think LVPD guys that were killed. I can't remember how many years ago. Like they were sitting down at breakfast, and some dude came in and popped both of them.
Yeah.
So they definitely had some targets on their back, and yeah, if I were them, I wouldn't be messing around. AR Drew says the cop folded him like a well-shot bird. You see what he was shooting? What his optic was? It's a Sig Romeo 5.
Yep.
Dude, Joe saw that, and you know he got a stiffy.
Hey
And
man,
I
it works.
love that there was a Tacoma cop who shot a guy. Like there's body cam footage. He gets out of his car. I think he was 180 yards away, and I think he had a T2, like an aim-point T2. He had one of those GBRS risers and shot the guy, and it was a great shot. And I remember thinking like, oh man, that sucks. Like, kind of give some credence to that GBRS mount thing.
Yeah.
But then you see this cop take someone down with a Romeo 5 on it. Garen says, what was the POS shooter using? He had an AR.
I didn't
It
see what it
was,
was though.
yeah, it was just it had like the plastic handguard still on it. I might have had a carry handle. I don't
Yeah,
remember that.
whatever it was, it jammed. So thank goodness.
Yeah. Zach Field said he got a stateside kill though, and those other dudes don't. True. Well, Croak says a lot of snark about the LVPD guy running Keymon. Yeah, but I wonder if that's got to be like department. purchased, right?
It
Do you think
depends.
he?
Some departments will let you purchase your own. Some departments purchase for you. So
Okay.
it just depends.
I would think Las Vegas would purchase it for their guys.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, they got the money. I'm sure they
Yeah,
do. I think Sturgis was leaving.
I didn't see that.
Right?
I'm
He said
behind. I'm
okay.
like 5 minutes behind on comments. All right. See you, buddy.
All right, brother. We love you, man. Take care.
We'll be checking in right
Yep.
before you. Is it a Bushmaster?
Yeah, probably. Who knows? I haven't heard anything about that. Normally, that's a hot hot topic, but
Yeah, and
I
I
was more
wonder.
impressed.
Good.
I was just gonna say I was more impressed with the Romeo 5. I even circled it and sent it to Joe, and he's like, "Good catch."
Yeah, Joe missed the key mod apparently, but
Yeah.
caught the Romeo 5. Harry says just emailed both my senators, my congressman, and the two senators, John Thune and John Barrasso.
Hmm.
Are they the senators involved in this Hearing Protection Act?
I think that no, that was in the big beautiful bill.
Oh, what? Yeah, so I don't know anything about this. What's the big beautiful bill?
It just had a bunch of stuff in it. It was tax to make Trump's tax not credit. What am I trying to say? His tax cuts to make those permanent.
Oh, okay.
Uh, Something about healthcare, and
The
then it
no
had
tax on tips.
no tax on tips was on there. And there was something else, and then the suppressor thing.
Garen Willis says I have a Romeo 5 on a Saint. It'll run.
Yep,
And Brent's in
it'll
the
work.
house. Says he's got the same setup. Oh, tax free overtime. That would be, dude. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, yeah. It's tax free overtime, no tax on tips, that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Which that would be a. I never thought about that because I've never worked for tips, but that would be a pain in the butt. Like, how do you file that?
Well, I would think that some of it. I don't know because it's been so long since I've worked in like food sector. But I would think that nowadays when you can digitally pay a tip,
Yeah.
with your card,
Well, yeah,
I think that the owner must divvy up the tips in people's
yeah.
paychecks, and then they report it as like.
So does the owner pay that, or does the?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
But even with cash, like, there's no way
You
unless
would
you
know.
report it,
Yeah.
right? Who knows? I don't know. Yeah,
So,
AR Drew saying you report tips.
yeah, there you go. Report your tips at work. They withhold taxes from it. Okay.
Yeah, I'd be like, nah, dog, I didn't make no tips. People don't like my face.
Garen says, I'm by no means a SA fan. We call it hate field here.
Yep.
Hate field fan. Sketchy pass, but rifle works flawlessly. I
Yeah.
think that's something that a lot of people can say with hate field, whether you like them or not. And I would say, besides Joe, and even Joe's kind of sick of their crap. Um, we we don't really like the company, but the guns that they bring to market are fairly decent. Like good to great, I would think. Almost all of
We
them.
don't like their company, but Joe keeps buying guns from them. So
Yeah, yeah, he does. Air Drew, credit cards have forced wait staff to pay much more tax.
yeah, I can see that.
Salt may go up to 30K, up from 10K cap. Salt?
Why?
I don't know what you're talking
We
about.
have salt. We have salt here.
Dude, Michael Farley. Unfortunately, Mark Kelly and Ruben Gallejo are somehow my senators and they're anti-gun, so my calls will fall on deaf ears. Do the same for me, man. It's freaking Maria Cantwell and um, Murray. What's Murray's first name? Patty Murray.
Oh, he said
Oh,
it's
state
state
and
and
local
local
tax.
tax. Look,
Mm.
that's some my brain farting. What does Harry do?
He's an accountant.
Right. That's some accountant verbiage right there. Throwing
Yeah.
out
He
salt. We're
says,
all
I
like,
guess I'll
huh?
be deducting 25,000 sales tax. LOL.
Gross.
Mm. Yeah, I was all excited. I found out that my state offers, oh, they just passed a bill that if right now, if you're 80% disabled vet, then you can apply for property tax relief. You don't have to pay property taxes. And that's going to go down to 40% in 2027. So I was like, oh, this is awesome, man. I get to not have property taxes. No, there's an income threshold, and it's like pretty low. I make more than that.
Yeah.
Um, and so I'm like, oh, okay, well, I could be 100% disabled and still not be eligible for property tax relief. In this, Washington has some really bad benefits for veterans.
So Nebraska calls it the homestead tax relief, and uh, it's for 100%. But what it is, it's your house and 1 acre of land.
Mm.
So I still have to pay property taxes because I have 5 acres. So
Okay,
I still have to pay on 4 acres of my land,
but
which
do you
is
pay?
still
You, yeah, do you pay on the 4 acres that's like not developed? So
no. It's yeah.
your value is less.
So yeah, it's less, but still, I mean, like my buddy lives in a subdivision, and his house is like 3 times as big, but he has less than 1 acre of land,
Yeah,
so he doesn't pay any property tax. So I'm like, well, I'm not complaining because I appreciate the little bit of tax relief I do get, but
yeah. Croak says, so I guess that any move ain't happening. Not right now. I talked to the guys. I haven't talked about it on here yet, but there's been some two different medical things that have come up with folks in my family that are keeping us here for the time being.
yeah,
So nothing life threatening, but definitely life changing.
yeah.
So we're still trying to get answers on stuff, but we're here. We finally found a doctor will that we really like, and we want to stick with them as much as possible.
Yeah.
Harry says real estate tax is true thievery. Yeah, I didn't
Oh,
know when I was
absolutely.
planning this move to Nebraska. I was going to sell both my house. I have a house in Idaho and a house here. Um, I was talking to a buddy of mine, like, okay, like trying to math it out. If I sell my house for a certain price with what I owe on it, like I might be able to do X, Y, and Z. And he was like, oh, don't forget the real estate tax. Like, what? And he's like, oh yeah, you got to pay 2.5% to the state here in Washington. I'm like, oh God, man, it just pisses me off.
Well, it's like property tax. Like you're literally renting your own property from the government.
Yeah. And dude, like our assessed value went down this past year, but our property taxes went up because
Oh, I
there's all
wish.
these like bonds and levies that people vote for. Hey, vote for this, and we're going to add a water park, a city ran water park in the city, and it's only gonna be 1 cent per $1,000 of assessed value or whatever it is, right? So people are like, oh, that's not a lot at all. You got all these people that are renting that aren't homeowners. They're like, yeah, let's do that. I want a water park that'll be built 7 years from now. And
Yep.
so my wife voted for it. I did not. I was arguing with her. And so then the bill came in and she's like, this is weird. Our property value went down, but our taxes went up. And I was like, yeah, you could thank yourself for that.
Right.
I've
Right.
been so angry about it ever since then.
So what gets me is I think this is thievery, is the property taxes. You have a county assessor that comes in and assesses the value of your house. And then that determines what your property taxes are, which pays the county that pays him.
Yep.
So I'm like, that's
That
not
sounds
right.
like a racket.
Yeah. He's like, oh, Somehow the value of your house went up this year again. Go figure. I'm like, man.
This is another one too. Harry says, if a kid inherits their parents' property, the tax is assessed at fair market value. If the kid cannot afford the huge tax hike, they need to sell the house. WTF?
Right. And if they don't, someone can come in and pay the taxes for them and take the house.
Yeah,
Trash.
crazy. All right, we got two more bracket changes. This one is Garrard, Jay Garrard, and L. Pipkins. Let me shuffle this.
That sounds like some baseball players.
I know. You notice there's a lot of Patreons that are on here.
Yeah, that's what. Even when we did the draw from for the 16, it was a lot of Patreon.
All right, here we go. Bam. One more after this. Harry says it's the equivalent of renting. If you don't pay, you gone.
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance to read a book called Patriots, it's an okay book, but it's kind of like the socioeconomic collapse of the world, and these friends as they try to like survive this post collapse of the Western world. One of the things that the main characters that they do right before stuff hits the fan, he kind of sees like the writing on the wall, like stuff is hitting the fan, so I think he writes a check or he mails mails his cash for the property tax of his property. He like mails it to the county, and then so he's like, if shit hits the fan, I know I paid my property tax and they can't come and take my property. Like that's still something that concerns a person.
They go wrong.
All right.
That one was pretty mixed up, pretty good.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, so like I'll say my house has tripled in value since we've owned it. And that would be nice if we ever plan to sell it.
Yeah.
But right now, all the way we look at it is just increasing property taxes. So it's annoying.
I wonder if there's any truth. Yeah, there's jokes out there. People like, I go out to my neighborhood and I randomly shoot my gun and do all this crazy stuff so I keep my property values low in the neighborhood so I don't have to pay property
Yeah.
taxes.
Yeah. I need
Does
to
that actually
start
work?
parking like cars on cinder blocks out in the front yard, and that's what I don't get. Like there's a house next to me that was built in like 2020, I think.
Okay.
My house is 1980, but the value of that house increases the value of my house because they call it comps or comparables. So
Right.
I'm like, these two houses don't compare. Like all of their electrical works, mine doesn't. But
Yeah.
it's
All
whatever.
right. Let's see here. My state can't fund any type of gun buybacks, and my county has explicitly said it will not host nor fund any type of gun buyback destruction. Oh, this is interesting. Brent says we hired one of those property tax appeal companies this year. How they can work some magic.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in learning more about that.
So I called the county and I'm like, hey, what can I do about this? Like, I want to talk to somebody. And they're like, oh, you were supposed to come. There was a meeting at one of the high schools, and you were supposed to come then and ask questions. I'm like, what? Like, if I come to a high school, what's that person going to know about my particular property at
Yeah.
that time? I want to talk to somebody about my property and why they assess it at that value. Like, just stupid. I've never seen somebody come out here, right? They don't
Right.
they don't come in here and ask me like, "Oh, is this part of your house finished or have you done any improvements?" Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Zach Vet says the shooting the gun in the air thing doesn't work anymore. Dang it.
No.
My $75,000 house and property in '98 is now worth close to $500,000. 1,600 square foot block construction. Goodness.
Where was that one?
Harry says, I just sit on my porch drinking 40s and smoking blunts with my homies. I don't think that works, dude. You've seen California, especially Southern California. Doesn't work. Dang, that's crazy. 4 years ago, it was 250. 4 years is doubled in value. That is nuts. They're talking Garen and 1911 Drew, I think, are both in Indiana. 1911 Drew says, we're like Arizona, but with humidity. And Zach says, Drew, that sounds terrible.
Yes, absolutely.
Uh-oh. I think my younger daughters are home. Someone's knocking on my bedroom door.
Uh-oh.
I'm not answering. I might mute and yell, go away. It
Like when this is 40, go away. What are y'all doing in there?
Dude, okay. My wife and I were watching, she came downstairs, she's like, I was watching anime. I forgot what show I was watching, but the anime that I watched is definitely weird. And so she's like, can you find something that's like not weird to watch? So we're on Netflix, like scrolling through stuff. Yes, I still have a Netflix subscription. You weirdos. Anyway, so scrolling through and we found The Equalizer with Queen Latifah. Have you watched that?
No. Is it good?
I liked it. I watched the first episode. I liked it. It's on Netflix for like another 2 weeks, and I think it's on Hulu. But anyway, so watched the first episode, and it was pretty good. We enjoyed it. And then my wife was like, I kind of want to watch like a chick show. So we found this one called Younger. The basic premise is there's this 40-year-old chick who can't get a job, and so she pretends to be younger to get a job.
Okay.
And there's a scene. I was worried because I don't really watch too much raunchy stuff with my wife. There's a scene, they don't show anything, but they're like all these girls in a locker room, and the main character, she like takes her towel off, and the two friends are like, oh my gosh, look at that bush. And they start talking like they could tell how old I've never seen gray in a bush before. And I was like, this is weird. Why are we
I was gonna recommend Righteous Gemstones, but yeah, it's pretty raunchy.
He says Queen Latifah is a tough dude.
Yeah.
Zach Fett knows. $20, Zach.
Yeah.
I have not got my money's worth yet out of it.
What about, do you have HBO Max?
No.
Okay. I just finished The Pit. It was pretty good. I liked it.
Harry says, have you seen Cyberpunk on Netflix? No. It's on my watch list.
Is that like the game?
Yeah, they have an anime on Netflix.
Okay.
Is it Cyberpunk Edge Runners, I think is the name of it?
I want whoever made Arcane to make a new one. Another.
There's not another season?
No. That's the only anime I've ever watched, and I liked it.
Watched Warfare last night. It did not suck. What is that on? Is that on Netflix?
That's a brand new movie, but you can watch it on Amazon.
Okay.
And apparently, I don't want to ruin it for anybody. I haven't seen it yet, but they said it's all in one building. The whole movie. I was like, hey, you gotta keep the budget down, you know?
Oh yeah. Okay. We got to get through this last one before we get into 2A news. This is Jacob Needham, Mission 7 Tactical. Here we go. And these are our only two. Boom. This is the only two YouTube members, I think. Oh, Croak says it's pay-per-view on Amazon. You could buy it through Amazon.
Yeah, it's like $35. It's ridiculous. I was like, that's cheaper than going to the movies, though. So
Croak says, Cody, Blue-Eyed Samurai was tolerable if you're an anime hater like me.
I won't say I'm a hater. I'm not drawn to it, and I watched Arcane and I loved it. But I don't know if I liked the style and the music and all that, but I really
Yeah.
liked it.
I think you would like Solo Leveling if you liked Arcane.
Yeah.
I liked Arcane. I thought it
Oh
was good.
well,
It's probably going to be Jacob. Dude, if Jacob gets... Dude,
it's gonna
is
go
it going
right
to be...
through the blue, right
But,
through the blue. Mission 7. Yep,
oh,
there it
man.
goes.
Yep.
Mission 7.
Woo! That is so gross, dude.
Dude, that was close. But then there was that one where it was like it didn't tick over to the next one.
Yeah.
All right. So again, I'll send these to Walsh and he'll update the bracket. But the bracket will be Jay Murph and Lance Zhang versus that's one bracket, and then the other bracket will be Jay Gerard and Mission 7 Tactical. So next week we'll get to our final two.
Yeah. So it's getting there. So excuse me.
Java says Arcane has a season 2 now.
No, I've seen that one.
Okay.
I've seen season 2. Yeah. Harry's saying he still doesn't know how this bracket thing works. so Harry, I don't know if you were missing, but Walsh, what we did is he went through and drew all the names, all the members, all the YouTube members, all the Patreon members. What else? What am I missing?
Yeah, YouTube members, Patreon
And
members.
Patreon. Yeah. And then we put them through the wheel and got down to 16. And then last week we got down to 8. Now we're down to 4. Now we're down to 2. Or we'll be down to 2 next week. And then we'll have a champion of the Thunderwheel. And Walsh has a pile of goodies for that person. And like I said, if this is something that you guys enjoy going through the Thunderwheel, then we'll keep doing it and hopefully getting better prizes.
And I don't know who came up with the name Thunderwheel, but I think it was a viewer.
Croak.
Viewers. Was it Croak?
I'm pretty sure. Right?
Harry
Croak.
says that sounds rigged.
Yeah. But we were talking about the Thunderdome or something like that, and Croak was like, "Oh, I think it was Croak, the Thunderwheel." He'll correct me if I'm wrong.
Croak, the studio that made Arcane is working on some other stuff, some same funky art style.
Good. I like that. I really like the music too. The music was good.
Yeah. Solo Leveling. I think you would like it. Solo Leveling it's a Korean comic book.
Okay.
And there's some pretty cool music. I think they have two or 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 seasons. But that might only be on Crunchyroll. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta watch. I got Andor is next. I'm gonna watch
the new season.
Yep. And then hopefully, when I'm done with that, the new season of The Bear will be out.
I don't know that one.
That's a good one. That's on Hulu.
Okay. The Bear.
It's about a restaurant, but
oh,
it's got
okay.
some drama. It's good.
Yeah. Okay. I hate some of these times you Google something like the Bear. I just Googled it and it says where to watch Hulu or Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it says that, and then you're like, oh, I could watch it on Amazon or I could watch it on Hulu. Then you open up Hulu and it's like, oh, you got to pay for this like the Max add-on. You got to pay for Stars add-on or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I have Max. There's been some good stuff on there. Like The Last of Us.
Oh yeah.
The Pit.
Andor season 2 is a masterpiece, he says.
That's what I'm hearing. I've had several people say that same thing. So
I was a friend of mine that was watching it. He said he like watched the first episode of season 2 and he was confused. He was kind of like, I don't remember this. And then I guess they have like a 20-minute like catch up. You could like,
Mhm. A
what do they
recap.
call it? Recap, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, totally helped because it's been so long. Instead of
Yeah.
watching the entire first season all over again, you just watch the
Yeah.
recap. 1900.
So go
Sorry, go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
He said, Indiana has a part time state legislature, very cool, and overall the state is sane. Former Governor Mitch Daniels said living next to Illinois is like watching an episode of The Simpsons.
A part-time state that's every state, I feel. That's our
Croak said,
government.
Andor could give me the winning Mega Millions number and introduce me to the girl of my dreams, and I won't watch it. Star Wars is dead to me.
Dang, that's harsh.
Zach Fest says, Croak, I was in the same boat. And he
I
still
am a
says,
Star Wars
Andor.
fan. The only one that has severely hurt me and turned me off was the Acolyte.
Oh yeah, I heard that was really bad.
Now, it it has potential. Like the Sith in it is good, and I think they could probably do a spin and just have them. I saw an ad or a teaser or something that they were going to make a Darth Maul uh,
Yeah. Series.
series.
Yep.
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
I also want a Revan.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
From Knights of the Old Republic.
Yep. Yeah.
Croak says it died for me in '99 with the prequels. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Zach Fett. The Acolyte was hot garbage.
I want some Knights of the Old Republic or like the high. What was it? What was it called? Like all the books. There's tons of material out there.
Yeah. Yeah, but some of it's not, a lot of it's not canon.
But
Right?
they're trying to make it. So they pulled in an Andor. They pulled in some stuff. So apparently, and I hate the internet, but it had some teasers in there, and it was saying that they had uh, Revan's logo on
Oh,
something in
that'd be
Andor.
interesting.
So they're trying to introduce stuff and make it canon. So
Croak says expanded universe. All right. Before we get too far down the rabbit hole of Star Wars, I do
yeah,
want to touch on at least one thing 2A related, and that is the Hearing Protection Act.
yeah.
So if you guys have not been following, the Hearing Protection Act passed the House. A lot of people were really upset. They didn't. I don't think they got the full picture. So initially, it was like not good. People were complaining about it. So it's not good because all it does is remove the $200. It doesn't get rid of the registration for the suppressors. And there was an amendment added that was accepted in the final passage of the bill. It passed by one vote. There were two Republicans that voted against it. I don't know who those two are yet.
And
But
somebody
it
else voted
passed.
present.
Yeah, some voted present. I think there was two voted nay, one voted present, and two weren't weren't there or something like that.
Yeah.
So it could have won by more, or it could have lost, I guess, if the Republicans voted. If those 4 or 5 Republicans decided they didn't want suppressors on there. But anyways, it passed. It's on to the Senate now. So what we're hoping for is that it just gets removed from the registration. It's yanked from the NFA 100%. That's what we want. Call your senators. I know a lot of people say like it doesn't help. And I'm kind of in that boat sometimes. When I look at what happened in Washington State, where you look at the number of people that spoke out against the anti-gun bills, they outweighed the people in favor of the anti-gun bills like 7-1, and they still passed them. Croak says Massey voted against the bill that had the HPA in it. I think he was upset because it wasn't a standalone bill, right? Is that his big complaint?
And I agree with that, because on the flip side, like when the Democrats are putting in bills, they put a bunch of little pork in there, and I wish they would do standalone stuff. I agree with that. Now Trump has been pushing this big beautiful build thing and all that other stuff, but I want standalone bills. That way we, the people, can see what's in it.
Yeah. Brent says he voted against the debt it'll bring. Now,
Yeah.
I would be fair and say I don't think the Hearing Protection Act itself, the idea of taking a suppressor off the NFA, is going to add to the debt. It's probably going to remove money because they're not going to be getting their $200 tax stamp. But when there's all this other pork that's in the bill, I could understand why he did it.
I think that was in there too, if I'm not mistaken. Croak, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't there something in there to raise the debt ceiling?
Probably.
And there's a tax cut in there.
Massey has taken the hardcore no compromise bill that cuts a lot more. Okay. So he says the thing is, this was a reconciliation bill that only affects tax or budget related items and only needs 51 Senate votes versus 60 for a regular bill. Okay.
Okay.
But that seems, so I'm kind of concerned now because it could get changed. It could swap and suppressors get added back on, next session if they need to. If Dems wanted it that way, right?
I agree with Harry. He says grouping bills should not be allowed.
Yeah.
And I
It's definitely
thought
frustrating.
when Johnson ran for Speaker of the House, that was his thing. He's like, standalone bills. I'm going to bring one bill at a time, la di da. Like, that's how we need to do it. That gives both sides time to understand what the bill's talking about.
Yeah.
That way, it'll force people to vote on the bill and not, oh, I don't want to vote for that because it had this other thing in there that I disagree with. You know what I'm saying?
Croak says you only get one swing per year on reconciliation. Take what you can get.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's another thing. Like, they got to hurry up because they're running out of time. We're gonna here shortly. We're gonna already be starting the midterms, and we could lose a slim majority that we have. So
yeah. Fingers crossed, man. So that's the only 2A news that I have. I don't know if you guys have anything else that you want to talk about.
I mean, that is the most positive thing in a long time. So that it's gotten this far.
Yeah. Croak says that's how the Dems got the green new inflation reduction through.
Yeah. Yep.
I got to go back and look at these. I wonder what these emojis look like. Wizard skull me, wizard skull me.
I kind of don't even want to know whatever Walsh put on there.
Wizard weirdo, wizard crap.
Is that
wizard.
a new one? Skull me?
I think so. Well, so it unlocks like the longer that you're a paid member, you unlock more emojis. I think after a year is like when you max out. I'm not sure. Oh, he says it's a Grim Reaper.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be something R-rated.
X-rated.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not seeing any other 2A news. J-Fish had mentioned in Discord, though, like there are still those states that ban suppressors. So Illinois is one. I think California might be, or there's a bill to make suppressors illegal. I would 100% think that Washington would go that route if this ends up passing. So I'm torn because I'm like, I want to buy one before the state bans them, but I don't want to pay the tax stamp.
Yeah.
Croak says, did we talk about the FRT thing last week? I don't think so. It doesn't ring any bells. Was I here last week? I think I was. I'm going through our 2A news updates. I don't see anything there about FRT from last week.
I'm trying to remember. Remind me what that was, Croak. I forgot what that was.
Zach Fit. Drinky Heathen. I think with Joe's been working out like crazy. I don't think he's drinking anymore. At least
No.
definitely not in the live chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Croak says, still some questions on how they handle registration. Do they handle it like firearms, where in most states you can private sale them? Oh, interesting. Okay. Huh. I got a buddy who has one, and he was trying to talk me over the phone. Like he bought one of these triggers. I don't know which one it is, but he's like, I can't install it. It won't fit. He's not a gun guy, like not an AR
Yeah.
guy, really. And so he was trying to explain, he's like, well, there's like this piece of metal in the back that's preventing it. And I was so confused. Um, and so I had him send me a picture. He has a Colt, I think it was a Colt lower, but like some ARs in the back, like right by the safety where the safety goes through,
Mm-hmm.
there's like an extra piece of metal that is usually carved out where a sear would sit. So you could go full auto. His doesn't have that. Like the metal isn't carved out there; it's solid. So the the force reset trigger won't fit because it's a drop in. It won't fit in his
Yeah.
trigger wallet or whatever you call that. So I'm like, oh, do you need a whole new lower receiver? Yeah. So an old post ban AR without the full pocket. Yes, that was it. So now he's got to buy a new lower receiver. Ruh-roh. Croak says DOJ dropped the appeal on the force reset suit against rare breed triggers, so they're federally legal. I did okay, so I did hear that. I don't think we talked about it last week though. Maybe Joe had brought. I seem to remember some conversation about it, but maybe it wasn't a 2A news thing. Michael Farley, pretty sure they're treated like firearms and would just need a 4473 to buy from an FFL, and thus private sale would be legal without and check. Are you talking about the force reset triggers?
Oh, I
Crook
think
says
you're
I've
talking.
slept since then. I can't remember.
Yeah. I think if this does go through, cans are going to get expensive for a minute until
Yeah,
everybody
we did
calms
talk
down.
about that last week. Like,
Yeah.
why would they get expensive? Because, that's we talked about how that Silencer
Supply and
Central.
demand.
There was a concern that Silencer Central was like lobbying against this bill,
Yeah.
right? And then Central put up a post on X or Twitter or whatever, and like, no, we didn't do that. We agree that anyone should be able to get a suppressor. I haven't followed up on that though. So ARG, it's an agreed order. Rare Breed has to enforce patent against any other attempting to make FRTs. Can't develop them for pistols, some other BS. But for those that own the Rare Breed trigger, it's legal now federally, from what I understand, which is nice.
Bro, is that a yeet cannon? I just
Yeah, it is.
noticed. Oh my
high
god.
point, high point E cannon.
Uh,
That's what it looks like. I owned a couple high points, like early on in my gun buying adventure.
no, I knew from the get go those weren't worth it.
Croak says Silencer Central spent a small or large fortune on their online system to make the NFA process easier, and they got a lot of sales from that. NFA dies, that's money down the drain and lost sales.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's true. But the supply and demand is going to be ridiculous for a
Yeah.
minute, probably a couple years.
The AFT is supposed to give them back, but there's no set time for them to do so. So I think we've talked about this before. This is really interesting to me because working in federal law enforcement, if we were to see something like that, especially let's say we seized it 2 years ago, like the case is done. If there wasn't some appeal or something, and we the case was over, we didn't have to turn it back in. Like I could totally see the AFT tossing those things in a trash can or cutting them up on a bandsaw or something.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to have the if the judge comes back to the AFT and is like, return them all, they probably don't have them all to return. So then what's left is the people having to file some paperwork to get reimbursed by the government because their property was taken and destroyed without a real reason. Like that's the only thing I could think of. The only recourse that people have that had their stuff taken from them. It'll be October at the earliest if the HPA passes all the way.
Huh.
Too long, too far away. AR Drew says it most definitely is a Yeet Cannon peak performance.
Now, I've never been interested in silencers, but if this all goes through and I don't have to pay a tax stamp, I may buy one. But
yeah,
I've never been super giddy about it, so like I wouldn't mind having one for my lever action.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Croak says they won't be giving back anything that was seized for evidence, just the ones that were turned in voluntarily or the ones ATF seized from rare breed and distributors. Yeah, so the ones that were turned in voluntarily, especially those ones, I would think they get turned in. Like, dude, the ATF probably took them to the dumpster and threw them away.
Yeah. They're not going to give those back. That's a good point.
Silencers make life so much better.
That's a good point. AR Drew saying 22 silencers are the best. Yeah.
I would get one for my 1022. I have a Ruger SR22 pistol, which does not have a threaded barrel. You could buy threaded barrels for them, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
But not in my state. My state's stupid. You can't buy threaded barrels. Yeah, so
you were this close to moving to a free state.
This close. It'll happen eventually.
I know. Everything happens for a reason.
All right. Well, we're coming to the end of our show. I do want to touch on, I know Walsh isn't here. He does have a video that's coming out tomorrow. He kind of did a teaser short on it. It's the Agilite, the phone pouch. I don't know if you saw that video, Cody. So, you have the S&S Precision pouch.
I have a couple
for your phone. The chest thing for your phone.
Yeah.
I forgot which one you have. Oh, that's a Juggernaut one?
No, this is the S&S.
Okay.
And then I have another one that I bought. It's just what do you call that? Junk.
I don't know. So Agilite has their new phone. I forgot what it's called, but it's like a phone case that you can mount on your chest rig or your plate carrier. It's hardened, I guess. I mean, it has a cloth covering, but it's sturdy. You can store your phone in it. It does not, as far as I'm aware, it doesn't have a place for like your camera to look at. Like you strap your phone in and you could use it as kind of like a body cam, but it does have the ability to like flip down so you could look at, if you had an A-Tac type system or something that you could see where your buddies are. But the full video on that is dropping tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. And man,
did you see that one?
Good stuff.
Did you see that one in that video I sent where the guy was like reading a poem?
I don't think so. Reading a poem?
Yeah. So it was something like this, but instead of it folding down, he just pulled his phone out of it.
Oh, interesting.
And slid it back in like it was a holster.
I haven't
seen that. Oh, I kind of like that.
Zach Fitz says, I'm going to mount mine on my belt loop like a nerd.
Yeah. And get the old OtterBox Defender.
Yeah. 076. I want a 22 cam, but I'm in the same boat. I don't have the extra cash right now. That is true. Yeah. I don't either. All right. That's it from us, though. Any last words, Cody, before we close up shop?
No. It was
Okay.
a nice calm. I think we for the most part stayed at least on the hard packed road.
Yeah. Somewhat.
We didn't
Um,
go careening off into the wilderness.
not too far. I'll send the names over to Walsh. So again, if you guys want to follow, the bracket is on thinlinedefenseco.com/giveaway. You can find it there. And I don't know how long it's going to take for Walsh to update that. And then next week we'll be going from the Furious 4 down to the last two, and we'll go from there. That's it from
Yeah.
us, guys. We appreciate you being here as always, and we will see you next Thursday.
Yeah, Croak brought up a good point. Remember what the weekend's for. Take a minute, think about your brothers and sisters that paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom.
Appreciate
We
that.
appreciate y'all.
See you guys.